Bachelor for Life here.
And baby son.
We're going to review the Kabar United States Space Force knife. This was a special release by Kabar. We'll go through some of the specs and some cool things on the box. Right here on the box it says, "From roaming the stars to defending your own space, our USSF products have universal appeal and will put you light years ahead of anything you may encounter." Thought that was kind of cool. Let's get to the knife. It's got the nice sheath there. Got the Creighton rubber or whatever that is, Creighton grip. Like a light blue color. Still made of the 1095 Crowvan steel. They did like a gray coating there. Super sharp out of the box. And maybe even
Stabby.
You think it's super stabby?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably where the Kabar shines. I kind of like the insignia they did. They kind of made it look like the NASA logo almost. The way they did the A's. Pretty cool. It's basically just a regular old Kabar, but themed. The United States Space Force. What do you think, baby son?
I think it's gonna stab very well.
You think it's gonna stab very well? I don't know. This one is gonna be my collector. I know it feels real nice. There's a million different styles of Kabar, and I hope they come out with like a kukri style United States Space Force one, because I think that would be super cool. But yeah, take a look at that bad boy. So a couple more specs on the Kabar USSF knife. 11 3/4 inches, clip point style, 7-inch blade. Blade thickness, standard thickness. The website says 0.165 inches. So blade width 1.1. Now, the sheath is made in Taiwan, but the knife is allegedly still made in the United States, which would be good.
Taiwan sheath and United States knife.
Yeah, which would be good considering it's the United States Space Force knife. It should be made in the United States.
If it was made by China, it'd be the US.
It'd be the CSSF, China States Space Force. That'd be weird.
If you just remove the S, it would just be China Space Force.
That's true. I guess you would just take the second S out of there, wouldn't you?
The first S.
Okay. Does it matter? If you remove one S, then the other S, would it be the first or the last S? Yeah. So it'd just be CSF. But we're not talking about the CSF. We're talking about the USSF. Pretty standard Kabar. I mean, I like it. I like the way it feels. Naturally, what I'm going to do here is what I always do. And grab my cold steel. Leatherneck. The biggest difference with these guys, obviously, for me, would be the grips. I like what Cold Steel does with theirs. They've got this rubberized grip, and the flat spots on the side where they've got their insignia actually kind of let you put your fingers in, and you get a really positive grip. The Kabar, and I know I'm reviewing it because it's the USSF knife, but it's basically a standard Kabar, and I've always kind of found the round or oval shaped handle to be a little awkward in the hand, the way it bezels out. I mean, I know they've been making it that way for what, 100 years probably, but I like the way this one's set up. Now, the one thing I do like about the Kabar, they use the 1095 Crowvan, which is a really good steel. This cold steel is made with 4116, German. So, also made in Taiwan. I wonder if Cold Steel made the knife in Taiwan and the sheath in America. Wouldn't that be backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt it. One thing I'm kind of interested because they're so similar. One of the things you notice is
The knife
look
length is
look at the
exact
guard.
same.
Yeah, the knife's basically the same, but look at the guard. The guard on the Cold Steel points up, and the guard on the
The
K-bar
Wait,
points
would
down.
It fit the
That's what I wonder.
Cold Steel?
I wonder if it would fit in there. It's basically the same length.
Will it fit?
Yeah, it does. The K-bar fits in the Secure X Cold Steel sheath. Pops out pretty well. Wonder if it goes the other way around. No. So that's another big major difference. Thickness of the blade up there in front.
Oh, I see
It
the
is,
difference because if you
Much wider.
because look in the hole, it actually is smaller.
Yeah, it's very thin compared to the Secure X.
You can't see it because it's a dark black.
Yeah, you got it in the light there. But yeah, I should look that up and see what the difference is. But they're, especially up towards the point, the Cold Steel is much thicker. That's my baby. Back to the K-bar. So the K-bar, when I bought this specifically because of the United States Space Force. I've kind of had an opinion that if the Space Force, once they get to rolling, they start handing out firearms, they start handing out knives and all the kits, kind of what they're going to look like.
You wouldn't need the knife because you already have it.
Well, K-bar, that's why K-bar came out with it. I'm hoping Cold Steel, does something similar and comes up with one of those like BA. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Here's the funny thing about it is, if it's a real space knife, it doesn't matter how heavy it is. On Earth, it makes a difference, right? Because there's gravity on Earth, but when you're in space, there's no gravity. So this thing could weigh 50 pounds. You could literally make the knife out of whatever you want. You could make it out of solid iron,
I mean, that's technically what the blade's made out.
Well, the blade, chromium and vanadium is what Crovan stands for. 1095 carbon. So I mean, you've got there's a makeup, and it takes a lot of different things to make the steel up. But my point is, I would be interested to see what they actually do decide on for a knife when they go to space.
Well, if you didn't know, I learned this in science today. It doesn't matter if you have gravity or not. The how heavy it is doesn't matter. It'll still be the same heaviness in space. If it's the same knife or anything, it'd weigh the same thing in space.
Well, I mean, it still weighs the same, but the pressure on the person carrying it would be different because of gravity. Gravity is what makes the weight feel to the person. So I think my point would be, you could make a super heavy, super thick knife if you wanted to, or you can make a super thin, rock hard knife. But I wonder how the steel would hold up in space. I mean, obviously, there's different elements, right? Depending on if they're on the moon or if they're just floating around in a ship. I mean, there would be some sort of gravity in the ship. I would assume.
Well, sometimes the space people turn the gravity off so they can have fun.
Yeah, space people turn the gravity off so they can have fun. Well, that's the Cold Steel. That's the K-bar, United States Space Force tactical knife. And it's blue, so you can't lose it in space because it's so dark in space.
Mm-hmm.
You would want something bright colored, maybe like an LED shining light or something.
Yeah. Stab vector, baby son approved.
It does feel super stabby.
Now see, I would say stab the box, but
I ain't stabbing that box. That's a collector's box.
yeah, no.
These bad boys have been they're not discontinued, but they've been out of stock since I bought this one, and it was the last one in stock. and they haven't come in stock since 2020, ever since COVID happened.
Which was 2020.
Yep, I haven't seen them. So let us know what you think. Bachelor for life.
And baby son,